At one point during the calendar day, as if by clockwork, the entire population of people on this planet all stopped moving relatively at the same time. They all lay down horizontally and stay very still. And in this frozen state of stillness, their perception of reality hovers on a liminal and strange threshold. And then whoosh, it dissolves into an altered state of consciousness and enters into a series of surreal journeys for about 8 hours. Do you know what's even more weird about this bizarre human activity? It's activated because of the routine disappearance of a 4.5 billion-year-old hot glowing ball of hydrogen and helium in the sky. Now you're probably thinking that I've just given you the plot description of a wildly imaginative Netflix sci-fi series, but I'm not. What I'm describing to you is what happens to each and every one of us every night when we fall asleep and slip into our dreams. Dreaming is the exploration of your consciousness in the altered state of sleep. Every single one of us experiences dreaming, whether we remember our dreams or not. Dreams are experiences of consciousness. If you are alive, you experience consciousness. It is your personal awareness and perception of your reality, environment, and experiences. It encompasses your senses, emotions, sensations, and thoughts. Most would think that consciousness is what you are experiencing when you are awake, but there's much, much more to it. You see, consciousness can also be experienced through dreams, memories, comas, trance states, daydreams, and psychedelic experiences. And these are coined as altered states of consciousness because they do not align with the definition of an awake, pragmatic, and sober state of perception. They are, however, valid forms of consciousness because they fall within the experience of perception. So even when we are asleep, our consciousness is still present. We are just unaware. But for the most part, we shrug off our dreams and we pay very little attention to them. Since times of antiquity, human beings have been trying to figure out what their dreams are telling them. We have a long history of looking to our dreams for guidance, inspiration, spiritual connection, and decision-making. Kings consulted seers and gifted dreamers for political advice, and tribe leaders took heed from the prophetic dreams of their shamans. Dreams have led to inventions and scientific discoveries, as well as the creation of moving works of music and art. There are countless examples and references in a wide variety of cultures throughout history that illustrate the importance of dreams. From ancient India writings through to Greek philosophers and onwards, humanity has been intrigued enough by dreams that they saw to it that they were documented, and other cultures passed on their dreaming traditions through word of mouth and also folklore. The founder of modern psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, claimed that dreams are constructed from the residues of yesterday, whereas his colleague Carl Jung claimed that a dream that is not understood remains a mere occurrence. Understood, it becomes a living experience. So how can we understand our dreams? Well, getting back to that Netflix analogy, dreams are like mini films that get projected every night from your cinema of the unconscious. These micro screenings grab our attention through their surreal content in order to prompt us to look at areas in our life that need balance, care, and transformation. So, in other words, these mini screenings each night are trying to tell you something. But what are they trying to tell us? These dream episodes can be so weird that it leaves us waking up confused. So, have you ever had that dream where you're at school doing exams and everything feels relatively normal in the dream, except you realize that you're completely naked? And you spend the entire dream running around frantically trying to avoid the eyes of your friends and teachers and looking for some clothes to put on. So we've all had that dream. It's stressful, right? You wake up and you're always relieved that it's not true. And this is a common dream, and one that highlights the stresses of school, feelings of vulnerability, and fears of being unprepared for that exam. This universal dream is what Carl Jung calls a compensatory dream. So the cinema of your unconscious mind is projecting this nudie film in order to get your attention. It's trying to let you know to be a bit more mindful of the anxiety and stress levels that school is causing you, in order for you to do some care and some management. And in turn, this creates a more balanced psyche, and you'll be as cool as a cucumber when it comes time to do your exams in waking life. So this naked dream, it's a universal theme. It's one that can be totally anxiety-inducing. But these commonly shared dreams, they're not always negative. There's also positive dream themes as well. So, have you ever had a dream where you're exploring a landscape and you discover that you're able to float? And suddenly you're filled with a rush of energy and you begin to fly through the air over the terrain with a sense of euphoria. You feel like a superhero, and waking up from that dream feels amazing. And even though the flying dream feels like it's a happy gift from your unconscious mind, this dream is also trying to tell you something. To free yourself, to lean into new possibilities, to connect to your inner strength in order to accomplish something that you thought was impossible, and to allow yourself to find playfulness in your daily life. Now, some dreams can feel very cryptic and mysterious, especially when certain symbols keep popping up over and over again. They can take the form of animals, numbers, natural elements, or people. Animals are often a universal symbol, and they're shared by people all over the world. Animal dreams can represent the part of your psyche that feels connected to nature and survival, and can also symbolize archetypal characteristics. So one of the most universal animal dreams is of the snake. This limbless reptile has slithered its way through all of our dreams at one point or another. And even though its appearance can provoke unsettling feelings, the snake is a powerful and positive symbol of transformation. The snake has the transformative ability to shed a layer of skin and grow a new one, which invites us to move out of old ways of being and into new versions of ourselves. Another universal dream symbol, water. We can all relate to the flood dream, the big waves, or being in a body of water in a dream. So water can evoke a wide range of emotions, from the joy of swimming in a beautiful lagoon to the terror of being engulfed by a tsunami wave. The emotions accompanied with the symbolism of water is there to tell you something. Water is the symbol of our emotions and our feelings. And so the emergence of it in our dreams is letting us know what sort of emotions in our unconscious psyche need to be integrated. It's a chance to look at what's happening in your waking life. That could be a reflection of these unconscious emotions. And then moving forward, your water dream could help you work out scenarios in your waking life that could use a little bit of emotional maintenance. Then there are the rare dreams that hold great mystery for the dreamer. They can be challenging to decode, and to understand them is very difficult because not too many people in the greater population have them. But enough people do experience them that there are also conversations emerging around these sort of dreams. So, have you ever had a dream where a person who has died comes to visit you? This is known as an after-death visitation dream or a grief dream. Although this can sound like a sad and unsettling experience, they are actually quite healing and positive dreams. Although this is a very understudied dreaming experience, many dreamers express similar characteristics of this type of dream. These dreams are reported to be vivid and ultra-realistic. When the deceased person appears in the dream, there's a calming energy of peace and of love. The tactile senses of touch and smell can sometimes be present in this sort of dream. And the deceased person can appear to be a younger or healthier version of themselves. And the deceased person usually has a message as well, a message of reassurance or comfort for the dreamer, such as, "I am always with you." After-death visitation dreams can also be very memorable because the dream is so vivid, emotive, and profound. It's never forgotten by the dreamer. In fact, it brings a sense of closure and peace during the grieving process. So, what is this type of dream trying to tell us? Well, one of the most prominent aspects of an after-death visitation dream is that they can completely transform the dreamer. Not only is it an emotional transformation moving through and receiving closure during the grieving process, but it also can transform the perspective and consciousness of the dreamer. Many who have experienced after-death visitation dreams have noted a stronger interest in exploring existential questions, the bigger picture, and spiritual purpose and meaning. Another rare and fascinating occurrence in dreams is the Prodromal Dream. Have you ever had a dream where some kind of surreal or nightmarish physical ailment was going on in your body? For example, you discover spiders coming out of your left ear. You wake up from this disturbing dream in a bit of a panic, and you check your left ear to make sure that there's no spiders coming out of there. And you get on with your day. And then a week later, you realized in your waking life that you have an earache. You develop an earache and it's painful. So you go to your doctor, and it's discovered through a series of tests that there's a benign tumor in your ear. So this kind of synchronicity is connected to the Prodromal Dream, which is a dream that predicts the onset of a physical illness prior to the appearance of any symptoms. So in other words, this dream is trying to tell you something about your health and giving you a warning. Being able to recognize a prodromal dream can be quite useful for establishing early interventions against illness. So when we pay attention to our dreams and we decode them and we find the insights and the messages which act as guidance, they can really help us out. In all the unique ways it's evolved, it's safe to say that the act of dreaming is an experience that all human beings can relate to. It links us all together with a common and innately human experience, the collective unconscious. We are bound to each other over the shared emotive power of a nightmare or the profound and exhilarating experience of a lucid dream. And you know, I often see the boundaries such as culture, age, race, and gender all dissolve when I teach my dreaming courses or hold dreaming retreats. After everyone has shared a dream, there's almost a collective sigh of relief after finding out the realization that we all experience very similar things. We're not alone in this. So even though your personal dreams can be very useful for understanding what's going on with your unconscious emotions, connecting you to the messages from your unconscious mind or to deceased loved ones, or even letting you know what's going on with your own physical health, there is something to be said about the collective dream. All of these shared themes and symbols that we all experience together in dreams. Can the collective dream tell us something? Perhaps it's simply the message that we're all connected. To interpret the collective dream is an invitation to undergo metamorphosis, to not only transform into the best versions of ourselves individually, but collectively as a whole. So tonight, as you hover on the strange threshold of wakefulness and sleep, allow your consciousness to get ready for the projections from the cinema of your unconscious, and let your dreams tell you something.